Hola, buenos dias, hello, good morning. This is Andrew Weston, resonating all solar systems, planets, and touch from the galactic system of the energy core. I'd like to thank all the subscribers and viewers. You guys are amazing. The force is going through its continuous force, and that energy force is going through its electronic force, and that electronic force is going through all energy system forces through the harmonic systems. So today, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys are meditating and cleansing your bodies on a day-to-day basis. I just finished swimming, I just finished working out, and I just finished having breakfast. So I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Hey, Trisha, how you doing? So today I'd like to talk about planets and solar systems. Right now they're residing on different vibrational levels, okay? And what's happening is that it's so important to have planets and solar systems, okay? Planet and solar systems reside in so many different vibrational levels. And everything through its vibration goes through its planet system. So what I mean by that is that we reside in different vibrations on a day-to-day basis. Solar systems are nothing but harmonic systems and their vibrational signals. So everything is connection waves through the radio signals. So you have a planet and you have the force fields, okay? Like this. It's always like this. It always starts like this, okay? So basically, it's all kinetic energy. And planets reside in different vibrations. Okay, so you can have a planet that has, land mass, water mass. Every planet resides in a different location. And all planets are different sizes through volumes of mass. And that's where the gravitational pull comes in, because the gravitational pull is on a continuous force. So it sidewinds through the north, the west, east, south. Okay? These are extremely important to know. Okay? That's very important to know. The north, the west, the east, and the south. Now that planet system right there, okay, it looks like it's close, but it's not. It's through another parallel. Like I said, everything is through a parallel, like this. Okay? It has to, because it has its own gravitational pull. Okay? And everything, that's its gravitational right here. Okay? Everything has a suction. And that suction is like a magnetic force system. So that force system has its own energy field. Okay? It's electronic. And it goes around its system. Okay? And it also has plasmasium force system. They all have. Okay? Some have 5, some have 6, some have 7, some have 8, depending on the dimension. You can have a planet system where it resides on so many different levels of vibrational signals. Okay? So what happens is the affinity 8 circles come in. Okay? So it's 1. Let's try 2 and 3. It's complicated, but I think you get a gist of it. So this is the planet solar system that it rides on, but this is through another dimension. So it's got 1, 2, 3, plus 5. So that's 8. So it's in the 8th dimension. Okay? Right here, that planet there. And again, it has a parallel because it's a protection grid, right? Which also has a gravitational pull. And it's very important to know that the dimensional Earth has its gravitation. So it solarizes and polarizes through its connection energy devices. So it north winds all the way up to the planets. and uses its own gravitation on a magnetic field. Okay, so it's communicating. Okay, it's sending its gravitation that it needs. It's like a suction. Okay, so every planet is different. Okay, then again, it has force fields. Some have 2, some have 3. Some are low dividing, some are middle dividing, some are high dividing. So it depends on the allocation of its location through its radio signals, because everything resides on the harmonic systems. But they all have electronic interference. They have to, because it protects the grids around the planets and solar systems. So it's kind of like that. Okay, this is the galactic dimensional Earth. It's high rising through its communication to the planet solar systems. Okay, so once it has its connection, it connects in all ways and forms of other planets. Okay, communicates back. Okay, so it's like this. So basically, this is the galactic dimensional Earth. Let's just put the galactic Earth. Okay. There's the galactic Earth. It's using its anomalies, okay, through its gravitation, and it's communicating with its patterns. Okay. See? And again, it's triangular base, so it's angular, right? It's always triangular, always. And it always points center. Okay. So after that, the gravitational pull changes its vibrational signal, and it uses its electronic interference around all planets and solar systems. So it's connecting to all waves and signals. Okay. In the high-rise planet, through the northern, western, southern, eastern, okay, is communicating through its activation codes of all planets and solar systems. So now it's on its connection wave. Okay. So you got 1, 2, 5. So this is in the 5D. Okay. This one is in the 8th D. This was in the 3rd D. You could have planets in the 3rd D. It's just on a lower vibration. And the galactic Earth, okay, it's not the biggest planet, but it's the most important because it has that tremendous gravitational pull that comes from its gravitation through electronics and electricity. Because that's what keeps us level, right? As human vessels, we have to have that metal alloy so we don't start floating. It's light formations. But once you take that alloy out, you become a light formation through the higher self to the galactic self. So basically, this is what it's like. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's got 4. That's 4D, 3D, 5D, 4D, 8D. And then you have the galactic Earth. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's also, okay. So basically, this is what it is. Okay. 4D, 5D, 3rd D, galactic Earth, 8th D. Okay. Now, they're all in different parallels, like I said, and that's through a different dimension. Okay. They all have to be in sequence through its line formations, like that. Okay. So once they're allocated in its location and they communicate through all waving signals, they communicate back with each other. It's very important. Okay. And they do this on a day-to-day basis through their vibrational signals. Okay. So it's like this. And the galactic dimensional Earth sends its waving patterns through its gravitation of its pull. So it synergizes and energizes every planet system through the 4th D, 5D, 8th D. Okay. That's how powerful the galactic dimensional Earth is. So I'm just showing you. And also too, with its connection with the solar systems are very powerful too. because it sets line divisions of galaxy systems. Okay? But the northern, western, eastern, and southern are the most important thing that you need to know through the systems. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Reflection. Hey, Eric. How's it going, guys? How's the meditation going? So that's what it looks like. Okay? That's communication waves through its gravitational of the galactic dimensional earth, communicating in all waving lengths of different dimensions, different sizes and mass and volumes of planets. Okay? Now, the solar systems are on their own. Okay? It's a big, humongous energy cycle. Kind of looks like this. Well, meditation is, it formulates everything, okay? And through space continuum, you're going to find that through its, everything is flowing, okay? Everything flows. So it's on a continuous form, okay? So basically, you got elements, different particles of energies in the solar system, okay? Because the solar system is line dividing through its planets and solar energy cycle systems. Okay, so these are anomalies, okay, of galaxies, okay? And then you have the circulation and its rotation on a continuous force. Okay, so it's communicating with the solar systems. And the solar systems change its line dividing. It changes its activation. Activation. It has to. Okay, it has to change its activation because it's communicating on a different level of a dimension of its solar systems. Okay, because every planet resides in a different solar system. There's not just one solar system. There's more because there's two sides of a dimensional realm of its multiverse. Right, so it changes its activations, and once it changes its activations, it high winds its force through its connection force. And everything through its power centers, okay? Power center is always in the center. So that's how it creates. So it's a circle, okay? It's like this. So it's something like that. Kind of looks like a star, right? See? Changes its activation of dimensions of realms, okay? So basically, these are the galaxies. This is the creator of its creation, of its solar generator. And it's a highway. It's a magnetic highway of electronic interference. Okay? That's what it's kind of like a cloud, but the circulating and rotation is so fast, like I said before, it changes its vibration through the communication levels. Because it's always on a continuous force through its rotation. So it's like that. Okay? So it's self-winding. Okay? See how it's going through its different parallels of different weather patterns? Because everything through its atmospheres on the dimensional Earth has its own gravitation. Just like anomalies in space continuum and the solar systems has its weather patterns. Because everything changes its winds. Okay? It's all about communication through the harmonic system. Okay? And everything is created through the creation of the solar generator and its electronic interference. Okay? So that's what's happening. It's changing. And it's formulating. Remember I was telling you about the patterns, how you have to understand the patterns? And once you understand patterns, things come into shapes, okay? Let's add a little bit of color here. It's too black. Add some blue here, because galaxies and solar systems are all different colors, particles of energies, okay? It self-creates and procreates. through its creation, there's electronic interference. Because everything in the solar system, everything through the planet system is electronic interference. Okay, it has to. That's the way they communicate. It's a little bit of red. Now, everything through its solar system has star systems. Okay, star systems are connection energy wave and patterns. Okay, star systems aren't just communication lines. Okay, there are star systems that are planets. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, drawing out your energy. So when I'm finished with this, I want to know what you guys have drawn. Okay, I want to see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because it's very important that you draw these things out as you go. Okay, so a little bit of green here. Green through the electronic interference of its creation, of its creator. Okay, it always has a protection grid. It has to, because it basically it's self-identity through its line defense, and there's so many line defenses of its circulation through its rotation. Okay, so it's constantly in a wind cycle spin. So that's what it looks like. Okay, that's a galaxy system through particles of energies self-vaporating. Now, vaporating is basically sucking out all its volumes of its toxivation. Now, the toxivation is going through its centers. So it's a wind cycle of a planet system. So basically, it's doing something like this. And I broke it. Get too excited. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is pretty fascinating stuff, because what happens, the galaxy system changes its vibration every single time. Every day it has to change its vibration, because it's going through different dimensions of its communication, of DNA structures of the virtual reality, of all communication lines through their harmonic systems. Okay, so it kind of looks like that. Okay, so it's going like this. Okay, so it's pulling out, right? Pulling out, pulling back, right? And it's changing. It's changing and it's moving. It's constantly moving all the time through its communication lines of electronic interference of its creation, of its solar generator. Let's just call it the kinetic highway force, magnesium, magnesium, energetic energy force system, which rides on its circulation and its rotation. So that's what it looks like. And like I said, the activation changes. So that's what it's like. So that's how solar systems, galaxies, and planets communicate, through the circulation of its rotation of activation. Okay? Because everything is formalized, high winds, north winds, extremely high up to the matrix and its grid systems. So that's what it is. Okay? Now, everything around it, okay, is stars. Okay? Stars. Now, the stars, okay, there, the stars. Okay, stars. Stars are very important because they communicate with its galaxy systems through its activation of its harmonic systems. So as they're communicating with everything. Everything is line divide. They communicate with the northern, western, southern, eastern atmospheres. So it's communicating back. It's communicating up, side wind, downwind, force wind, north wind, east wind, west wind. Okay? It's always communication. Okay? It's always communicating. So remember I said when they reach that vibrational level, they always have electronic interference through stars too. Stars have electronic interference. Everything through the systems has electronic interference. That's how they communicate. Okay? So once they reach that balance through each star system, they allocate and move into another location of a dimensional realm through a vibrational level. So that's what it looks like, electronic interference, okay? Okay. And the activation codes always change every single day. And see the colorations, how they change? You have to understand the northern, southern, western, eastern hemispheres. I say this over and over because I'm flying every single day in the system. And that's how I communicate with stars, solar systems, and planets, of galaxies, particles of energies. Everything is created of its anomalies of different colorations. And the colorations come from the creator and its source through its energy source of its grids, systems. Okay? Because the matrix is very, very colorful. So, what do you guys think so far? Pretty powerful stuff, eh? So let's just start here. Okay. Anything you missed, you can watch back. But it just shows you what can happen when you go into the 8th dimension and understand how it's created through its atoms. 4D, 5D, 3D, galactic dimensional Earth, and its gravitational pull. Okay. So, what has everybody? I think that's it for today, because there's information that goes into me, and sometimes it's north wind or south wind or east wind, or and it all depends on what energy it is. Okay. So it's more of a slow process day, but it's energy that was given to me. So I'm giving it back to you of what goes on through the planets and solar systems and how they change their activation codes through communication of their harmonic systems. So it's extremely powerful stuff. So questions, how's everybody doing? Okay, you guys are communicating. Trisha's communicating with Eric. That's good that you guys are communicating back and forth, because it helps each other out, right? That's what you want. So has anybody done any drawing at all? Anybody at all? Trisha's seeing pink, magenta last night. How do I clear out the electronic interface as I high rise? Anything through its high rise is galactic, okay? Because you're in the galactic system, Trisha. So now's the time for you to understand the mind and the brain. You have to understand its activation, because everything through its activation is codes, frequencies. Okay? So you really have to get connected with the telekinesis, how to move objects through activation. And once you understand how the activation goes, then you can understand the matrix and its grid systems of all colorations. Because everything line divides, everything subdivides. Okay? So nobody did any drawing at all? Is it that you don't remember what you're seeing or feeling, or is it just you can't put it down on paper? What is it? What is it that you're not connecting with? Let's just start there, because it's very important. Energy that's given to you, if you can't write it down, well, how are you supposed to move forward, right? And that's what meditation does. And I'm hoping you guys are meditating every day. It's extremely important, because we're high rising through activations right now. And your body and ecosystems are changing everything through its frequency levels. But understanding the open frequencies of the brain and understanding the mind conceptions, it's so important to understand its circuitry levels. So When I meditate, I ask for understanding of how to connect that or make it work. Your understanding is going through its force winds right now, Trisha. So you're in the galactic system, you're in the matrix. You just have to communicate with the mind and the brain now. So that's what I mean by, I'll say again and again, with your energy, try to write it down. That way you guys understand, wow, this is great. This is what I did. But what does it all mean? If you write something down and you don't know what it means, okay, then the data processing isn't going the way it's supposed to be going. So that's why it's all about communication with the higher self or the galactic higher self. If you're meditating, you're going into space and you forget you're communicating, or as soon as you put a negative thought in there, that's what you don't want to do, because once you communicate, you're in a higher force. And if you go through a higher vibration and you pull that negativity out and you communicate with a higher source that's higher than you, then you have a problem. Okay? That's what I mean by interfacing, interaction, interception. Okay? Remember how you have to understand how to use your scanning systems? Scan your identity force systems through its electronic interference, through its connection waves, through its energy waves, through its energy fields. Understand the mind and the brain frequencies of the self-identity of its force systems. So, because everybody has a self-identity. I have a self-identity. You guys have a self-identity. It's understanding everything through the systems of your light formations and everything through its solar kinetic energy force systems. So everybody's on a solar kinetic energy wave of its light systems. Okay? So try to communicate of your system. Okay? And what I mean by that is that you're high rising through a higher level now. And the higher you go, the more you understand the higher self and its communication. Because if the higher self goes up and communicates with intelligence, but it doesn't know what to say, okay, there's another problem. Okay? So if you're having a bad day, like I said, don't meditate. Meditate only if you feel that it's right for you. Okay? Depending on the day, because everybody has a good day, everybody has a bad day, but it's understanding everything through your systems, okay, your body and ego systems, because all intelligence, space continuum, high rise, and so many different levels of vibration of their harmonic systems. They know their body and ego systems inside and out. They know how to use their mind. They know how to use the brain. They know how to use telekinesis. And that's what I mean by communication. So, it is, Amanda. It is a lot to take in sometimes, but that's why I do these illustrations and drawings, so you get a better idea of what's happening through your systems of the body and ego systems. You have to know your body and ego systems inside and out. You have to know the higher self inside and out. You have to know the mastering of your definitive self through the inner and outer child. Okay? Now, I can south wind, north wind, east wind, and west wind about things about, you know, the planet system and all that. I was watching YouTube channels where people are high rising through spiritual force of their teachers. And it's pretty interesting how they get back information, because everything is energy. And they're understanding it, but it's all psychological. And you're still in a human vessel. Now, there's a lot of data input there, but where's the truth to it? You know, that's where you want to go beyond its system. That's why you want to know what your body and ego system is, because you can't communicate with yourself. Then you have a serious problem, because you will not be able to communicate with space continuum. You will not be able to communicate with Father and Mother Gaia. You will not be able to communicate with the matrix and its systems. Okay? That's why it's very important to understand, yes, it gets complicated, but it's supposed to be complicated. And that's what I mean by mastering. Once you master things through communication, it becomes a lot easier through your body and ego systems. So that's what everybody needs to do. is to focus and be aware of everything around you and your perceptions, okay, through your dimensional sights. Now, once you're going through its graphing system, remember I was telling you the graphing system, web graphing, you activate its code, you go through the plasmasium force, higher self goes through, creates a new activation code. And once it goes through that dimension, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I know exactly what I'm saying. That's the thing. And the process becomes so much easier because it's the subconscious that lives the conscious every day. So that's what you guys have to refrain from, is to know that you don't live on a conscious level. You live on a subconscious level. And that subconscious turns into matrix and its grid systems through the, so it's basically, it's like a rotation. Okay, you have the subconscious and it just comes around. Okay. And everything through its connection is the transformation lights, the third eye. That's the connection. That's the open highway. That's the light force. That's the light interforce through the energy force, through the connection force, through the higher force, through the galactic force. So it opens up everything through the dream sequence of the dream awakening. And your transformation and manifestation changes every single day. It has to, because energy that's going into you is high rising all your divisional levels through its circuitry levels. Now, you can just listen to what I'm saying. It's way above your upgrades, but it's extremely important to know exactly what the body system is and how it accumulates everything through its communication of intelligence, planets, and solar systems, of all vibrational signals and frequencies of the harmonic systems. Okay? So it's great that you guys have questions, though, but please, when you get a chance, try to draw it out. Okay? And, you know, in retrospect, try to look at your drawing and try to analyze it frame for frame. Like, what is this? What does it represent? What are these? You know, they're stars, right? Okay. The one thing you have to understand is how to fly. You have to know everything through its space. Okay. Because that's what the galactic higher self does, and the higher self. That's all they do is fly on acceleration speed. They don't do anything else, and they communicate with their hands. Now, every day I wake up, it gets stronger and stronger, and the interference gets more powerful. And the energy that goes into me is pretty fascinating. I'm going to draw this out. This is the energy that went into me last night. Okay. This went into me last night, but that's what I'm saying. All this goes into my system. And that's why I draw it out, so it's easier for you guys, but you seem to be more complicated. It's complicated because I'm high rising through its matrix and its grid system. So it's extremely hard to talk on a human level, especially with your subconscious and its IQ system. Okay, so basically this is what it is. Okay, this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. Okay, and then you have, okay, so this is the energy that went into my system. Okay, this is a totally different new activation that I have to accumulate through the matrix and its grid system. Okay, this is the information that they give me because I work in space continuum. Okay, so I set line divisions of planets and solar systems, and I communicate with all intelligence through the radio signals. So this is what it looks like. That's the energy that went into my system last night. See that? See all the line dividing through its electronic interference? See all those ring barriers? See how many dimensions that is? See how complicated it gets? That's energy. That's information. Energy. energy. Okay? That is what I see. Every day I see something different that goes in my system. Okay? So it's homework for me because I have to master what's going on through the planet system. I have to change the activation codes, line divide all its shapes through its geometric system of the geometry systems, okay? Then I have to self-wind through its web graphing system, plasmesium force systems, change the magnetic force systems through the energetic, meteorological, energetic systems. Now it's getting more complicated now, right? Because I have to change everything through its vibration of their harmonic system. And just imagine how many planets are out there, okay? Because they reside in so many different levels, okay, of dimensions. Because dimensions are just vibrations. That's all it is, okay? What I mean by understanding energy, okay, I say this over and over again because the alien formations are trying to tell you through me, and me telling you, is that you have to understand everything that's going on through your body systems. It's energy, that's information, okay? You put a computer disk into a computer, okay? It's new software, it's upgrading its system, it's putting new software in, okay? That's what's happening. It's changing all its defaults, it's changing all its viruses, it's getting rid of its system and cleansing everything through its computer systems. That's how you have to understand that your life formations are becoming a computer analytical system of the matrix and its grid systems. Okay? And that's how we form into antimantium through the galactic system. Okay? So I'll show you this one more time. But that's the energy that went into me last night. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. That's how powerful it is. That's what I mean by mastering. And it's all about communication. Because energy that goes into you is communication. You're communicating one to another. And once you understand that information, it's homework for me because I need to fix everything, that's in the systems. Because remember I was telling you about everything through its low dividing. It's changing its oxygen levels and losing oxygen through its planet systems. So I have to change the vibration, bring this gravitational pull, platitude into that dimensional realm of its communication and its device signals. Okay? So I know it gets extremely complicated, but I try to be more informative so you guys get a better view of what's happening through the illustrations of its structures. So, okay, so we got questions here. Sorry, I get ahead of myself here. Okay, let's see. Trisha, now what I did. Yesterday I went back in my heart chakra. So I closed my eyes and asked to clear it. This time I used my hands to move out of me. When used my hands, it was extremely clearing. That's what I'm saying. Everything is open because you're open communication and your energy fields are connected through its connected energy dimensional earth system. Okay? Because it's high rising its vibration through its frequencies of its harmonic systems. So that's why you feel it, right? Every time you say to yourself, I feel great, I feel fantastic, I feel outstanding, it's a vibrational signal that's going into you. That's energy. Okay? That's communication. That's coming from space continuum. That's not coming from you. That's information. That's what I'm trying to explain to everybody is everything through space, okay, is energy. Everybody revolves around energy. Vibration through the harmonic systems. Okay? So everybody should know what dimensions are. Everybody should know what vibrations are. Everybody should know what harmonics are. Everybody should know what frequencies are. Everybody should know what energy fields are. Everybody should know what energy cycles are. Okay? Those are basic. as light formations. And the more you understand that, the more you understand its communication waves through space continuum, the galactic system, energy core, and the matrix and its grid systems. Okay. Now, if I ask you, if for you to look up the atmosphere, I want you to describe what you see in the atmosphere. What would you say? Would you say, oh, wow, those are nice clouds? Or would you say, oh, there's two subdividing lines right now through its cloud formations. It's changing its allocations through its location of shapes. It's changing its vibrations through its electronic interference. That's what I talk about understanding, because one is communicating to the other. You communicate every day, right, with people, and you get to know people, right? You become friends with people. You build relationships with people, and then you get to know them, and then you get to really know them through their heart chakra, and the soul connection. And that's what I mean by energy. That's what I mean by information. Now, hopefully that helps you out a lot more. And, you know, every day is going to be complicated, because for you to understand is to understand the system, okay? How everything is high-rised through its vibrational signals. So, but that's great, Tricia. Good for you. Focus, focus, focus. Hammond, how you doing? We learn to communicate with them, bring them, and talk to them. Yep. Communicate, talk with them through its vibration. That's what you want to do. Find your balance. Once you find your balance through equilibrium, you can communicate on their level. But you have to understand their vibration before you can communicate. So you'd be living on a subconscious mind daily. Wow. I ask for this every day in meditation. It's amazing when I do. See, that's the thing. So Tricia is going through its north winds, south winds, east winds, and its west winds right now. So she's communicating with her flying mechanisms. So she's starting to understand her communication through energy cycles and energy fields. That's great. See, I must fly all the time when I use my hands. It was so crystal clear. That's what I mean. Everything through its hand is communication. Then you understand its communication lines and its planets and solar systems. Okay? Because everything through the hand, I know it's blue right now, it's going through electronic interference. Everything through its hand, okay? You guys are made through crystals, okay? And everything through the crystals is pixels. And everything that is electronic through its circuitry levels. These are communication lines, okay? I said that before in my last video. Everything, okay? Everything has a power source. Everything has an energy source. Everything has a creative source. These are connected through the chakra formations. But you have to understand its line divisions. You have to understand its circuitry levels. You have to understand everything through its line defense. And that's where it gets extremely complicated when you're in the galactic system. Because I'm a commanding force system through the Galactic Federation. Okay? So. Trisha's got a lot of questions. I have seen up to 12 to 16 those energies over the weekend in the Trinity Alps. If anybody is in understanding of seeing this, when you meditate, ask for understanding of Andrew's teaching. I know this, how I am where I am. See, that's the thing. She's in the galactic system. She's in the matrix. She's understanding communication, and she's full winding herself through her flying mechanisms. And that's how she's getting her continuous force. So her power centers are getting a lot more stronger now. That's what I mean by paying attention, guys. You know, if you need help, go to Trisha, because Trisha is definitely in the winds. She's in her power centers right now. So, hey Anna, how you doing? Dancing Elves. Oh, so you're on the mystical side, eh? I see matrix grids and color formations, shapes now when I look into the atmosphere. See? She's getting connection now with shapes. That is cool. See, that's a thing, right? So ask Trisha. She can help you out. You guys should talk back and forth because you are a community, and that community is high rising through its vibration. And you want to find that balance with each other. So, reflection. I noticed that when I look at clouds, another cloud forms behind it, and the sky shifts, exposure from bright to dark. Okay, so you're changing your colorations through the matrix and the grid systems. So are you communicating through the shapes, okay, of the geometric systems of its atmospheres? So your interference is coming through its electronic interference, and your perceptions are changing its colorations of clouds. That's what that is. That's how it goes from bright to dark. And don't forget, when you're going through transformation and manifestation, your eyes change, your perceptions. Okay? Your hair changes, your reflection of your body changes, coloration of your face changes. The human tissue changes in your body. Everything through the body system is changing because you're going through an atmosphere of space continuum. And that's why it's very real. And that's why it's very important to keep your body intact through meditation, through working out, through swimming, through yoga, Pilates, walking, running, whatever exercise you can do to uprise your cycles through all divisional levels of your circuitry levels and everything through its body and ecosystems, because everything is connection, okay? And once you understand the communication, your body systems becomes a lot more powerful and a lot more stronger. And you're going to understand your flying mechanisms, and you're going to be more connected with space continuum and the matrix. And you see a lot more too, right? Through nature's core, ground formations, atmospheres, cloud formations, shapes, colorations, movements, activation codes, vibrations, intelligence on the solar systems, the planets, high rising on different graphing systems, meteorological, magnetic force systems. So once you understand everything through its system, everything will change through its vibration. And that's how you get balance. So, Trisha, I seem to understand when I'm here, but to talk to anyone else. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Nobody understands what you're thinking because you're going through its high vibration. I go through the same thing. Everybody thinks I'm a loco. So everybody thinks I'm crazy. Okay? It's going way beyond the body and ecosystem. It's going way beyond the matrix because the matrix goes way beyond through its systems, right? So I've got to watch what I say because the higher self tells me that. See, Trish is very informative with the higher self, and the higher self is telling you what to do and what not to do. And it can expose you in a way where you can see things through space continuum of its communication lines and its radio signals. But everything is a waving pattern, okay? And everything through its mastery is the higher self of the galactic higher self. So, so I just got, like I said, that energy that I showed you, that energy, okay? Now I'll show you what it is, okay? I just gave you an example of what I have to do with this planet system. It's an energy system, and it line divides through its ring barriers, okay? There's a lot of ring barriers there. The circle, as it's rotating, okay, is changing its axle. So I have to understand that its spin cycle is going through my body's system. So it's upgrading its dimensional shape. Remember I was telling you I was coming a dimensional being, right? My body system is changing, see? I'm working out more, and my body is changing. And everything through its activation is pixels, okay? So, and everything through its activation is its center point, okay? The point systems, 1, 2, these are point systems, around the solar system through its electronic interference, okay? So all that, okay, is electronic interference of energy cycles that went into my system. So I'm past the galactic system, like I said. So I'm now at dimensional. I'm high rise in all vibrational levels of communications, of all pyramids and laser mechanisms. So that's what I mean. It's gone way beyond the chakra system. And, you know, to get there is to understand everything through the mind and the brain, because that's the last resort. But if you master the mind and brain first, then you're on your way to upgrading, because the mind and the brain is everything before the body and ecosystem. Okay? Because the mind can't live without the brain can't live without the mind, but they have to connect. Okay? They have to. And it's all about understanding changing the circuitry levels of its electronic systems. And once you're in the matrix grid system, the energy cycles of the computer graphing analytical systems changes everything through all frequency levels. So clouds are in form of line patterns. There's an out layer of a line pattern, yeah, through the matrix and the grid system. They change it through its electronic interference. Yeah. Clouds are the most important thing through its atmosphere. Does anybody know why we have clouds in the sky? This is what I'm talking about mastering. Does anybody know? Anybody want to guess? Martial arts connects the mind and the brain. Yeah, that is the mastering of the yin and yang, but it goes way beyond that. You have to understand the significance and everything around space continuum of Father, Mother, Gaia, and its nature's core, through its creation of everything, through its, the God seeds. Cloud formations? I'll give you one hint. Angelic realms. The reason why you have cloud formations is because it high rises on so many different levels of the angelic realms. Okay, that's why you see angels and archangels. They reside through the galaxy system, through the golden galaxy. Okay, and cloud formations are there to protect everything around its atmospheres, because yes, there's a reflection of blue, but it's black. Okay, that's what I mean by electronic interference. So it looks blue as a human, but when you're dimensional, it's black. And you see the planets and all that. That's what I see. I see planets and everything, right? And that's when I have in connection, understand the matrix of the grid systems. But that's why we have the clouds. It's protecting its atmospheres, because its south winds, it changes its northwest, south, and east hemispheres, because it rides in so many different systems. Yes, there is connection through the galactic solar sun star systems and the galactic moon, because they resonate through its communication. Okay? Because the galactic moon has dark, and the galactic solar sun star system has light. Okay? So it's all about communication coming together. So, powerful stuff. So everything through cloud formation is the angelic realms. That's why we have clouds, because they're safe havens. I call them safe havens. And safe havens, they're like houses, on ground formations through the galactic dimensional Earth. That's why they have clouds. Now, you will only see the angels and archangels if you're light formation, but you have to believe in your systems. Okay? It's not make-believe, it's believing. Okay? And it's not magic. Everybody thinks it's magic. It's not magic. Magic is an illusion. It's a trick, right? So, but once you go beyond its perception, you see everything through its dimensional eye, and how everything is created through its understanding. So that's why we have cloud formations. Yeah. So, and there's portals too. There's river streams, there's portals. There's so many different things. It's incredible. Skywalks, sky grids. It's unbelievable what you see in the galactic system. You know, powerful stuff. No, science doesn't teach you this. It's way beyond its metric system, like I said. Now, let's just say that there were no clouds existing. Okay, no clouds at all. What do you think would happen to its atmosphere? Anybody know? You know, you could play it as true and false questions, but this is what's great, because it's kind of like a teaching method, trying to understand what mastering is and how you know everything through the atmospheres, how you know everything through space continuum, how you know everything through the ground formations, how you know everything through the matrix and the grid systems. Yeah. Does anybody know? If we didn't have cloud formations, we'd lose oxygen. There would be no rain. Okay. Yes, there'd be a galactic solar sun planet, but how would the galactic solar sun planet communicate if there was no cloud formation? It would burn down its gravitation of its dimensional Earth. So that's why it's extremely important to have cloud formations. Yes, sometimes you have a clear sky, but there's always clouds. Okay, even though it's clear, right? For me, I see the galaxies. Okay, so it's gone way beyond that through its parallels of its paradox. Paradoxes are fascinating because it's through a dimensional realm of its vibrational level. That's where you get into wormholes. That's where you get into black holes. And don't forget, black holes are not bad, okay? People say that, but it's not true, okay? I've already talked to you about that through its information. Everything through space continuum is all positive. Now, yes, there are things that need to be fixed in the systems, and there's reasons for that. And that's why I work on planets and creations of its electronic interference, uprise everything through systems. Yes, we have crater defenses, okay? Yes, we have meteors, okay? There's planet and solar systems that are connected through, you know, brother, sister planets, father, sister planets, father, mother, sister planets. So everything is a family, just like on the galactic dimensional Earth of its humanity is a family. Yes, there's 8 billion people, right? But not everybody knows everybody. But everybody in the galactic system knows everybody. And that's what I mean by communication. Because you're on that vibrational level of understanding everything through its frequencies of its harmonic system. Okay? Everything is in touch with its atmospheres, its ground formations, its space continuum, and the matrix grid systems. Because once you get into the matrix grid system, like Trisha does, you can formulate your own civilization through the galactic system and create everything through its shapes of its activation, of its DNA structures. It's amazing when you get into the virtual reality because you come into the computer system, okay? And the dimensional body is activating through everything through its pixels. So it's communicating all ways and forms of its vibrational signals. So it's incredible, you know, what you learn every day. But that's what I mean. You should be able to, when somebody comes up to you, okay, and tests you and wants to know a question. If you don't know the answer to it, then there's a problem. Okay? They're saying, well, how do you know that? Well, first off, I meditate. And I say, well, okay, you meditate, so what? I say, well, if you meditate, you see everything within. Okay? Everything within comes without through the expansion of communication of all waving lines of its radio signals. And I say, okay, great. So do you see this? I say, yes, I see it, but I also see the information through its energy cycles. I say, well, okay, how do I do this? So there's questions after questions. So this person wants to know, right? So if you don't know the answer to it, then you have to do your homework. Okay? That's what I mean by communication with everything. That's what I'm talking about. You have to live the system to know everything through its information. Okay? So I gave you examples about cloud formations. I gave you examples about the major and the grid systems. You know, there's not one question that you cannot ask me that I don't know. Okay? That's what I mean. It's not being cocky. It's just understanding that living in the system is everything through its civilization. Okay? So, and you know that. Trisha knows that. You know? Okay, reflection, take it easy. You don't have to worry about it. You're in space, but it doesn't matter because I'm so powerful. I know how to use your body systems and take you down instantly. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to snap my fingers. I don't have to wave my hands or anything like that. So you can platitude through it's, you know, it's galactic dimensional Earth with no cause. So everything's safe. And that's another thing too, is that every day when you understand your energy, you're getting upgrades. And those uplinks are coming from its alien plantations. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's extremely important to know how to draw, you know, because it's embarrassing if you don't know how to draw. You know, it's just basic examples of what goes on. But it's fascinating because you're getting information from space continuum, the galactic system. Okay, so basically, this is an energy surfacing pod. Okay, now remember I tell you how we line divide everything through its solar systems, through its probing systems, how everything has a different circulation through its rotation, how it goes like this and like this and like that. Okay, this is an energy pod system. It's a circulation of its rotation, but it's a probing system of its magnetic system coming through its activation of its pyramid system. So basically, this is what it looks like. Okay, it's an energy pod probe. Okay, sidewinding, zigzagging. Remember, doesn't go below its atmosphere. Can't go below its atmosphere because of the oxygen levels. So basically, you have the galactic higher self on the ground. Okay, it's on the ground. Okay, now what's happening? Galactic higher self is on the ground. So that's a galactic higher self on the ground. Okay, that's the energy pod. Okay, probing mechanism. So the probing mechanism is sending information of energy through its cycles. Okay, and it goes into the galactic higher self. Okay, through the crown chakra. Now I'm getting a little bit more informative here so you guys get a better understanding of what's going on, how powerful probing mechanisms are through its communication lines. Okay, so the probing mechanism, the energy pod, is sending down information of communication through its radio signals into the crown chakra. Crown chakra goes into the galactic higher self. Okay, so that's data processing of information from the uplinks of the probing mechanism. Okay, so just show you here. There. So the galactic higher self communicates back, obviously, right? Communicates back. Okay. Sends the information. Communicates back to the energy probe, goes back up into space continuum. Okay. Back up. And communicates with all probing mechanisms of its communication lines. Okay. So it's all about understanding ground formations and its circulation and rotations of its activation codes, the matrix and the grid systems. I've already got into that. I've already done illustrations on everything that's going on through its systems. But that just shows you exactly what it is. This happens to everybody else. They just don't know it. That's what I mean by understanding. Okay? And understanding the energy pods, because everything probing mechanisms, we have so many different line dividing of its defense. Okay? And each defense has its electronic interference. Like I said, everything through its probe is electronic interference. It has to have that, right? Because it's protection grids. Okay, so when it has its line dividing of its security defense. Okay. And that's also communication waves through radio signals. Okay, so it kind of looks like that. Okay. So depending on the information of the energy that goes into the galactic higher self, he communicates back with the probe and it goes back with the space continuum. And every day is a different day. Now, this is what happens to everybody else. They just don't know that yet because they don't understand the energy pods. They don't understand that there are different probes that are different colors. There are different probes that are different shapes. And that's what I mean by mastering. Because there's different kinds of probing mechanisms in space continuum that fly around and zigzag, right? But it's always information of energy that goes into your system. Okay? Because that's how probes communicate through space continuum. And when they're in space, this is exciting. When they're in space, you have one here and another one here. Okay? It goes back to its planet system where it resonates from. Okay? So it's like a working mechanism. So basically one communicates with the other. Okay? Electronic interference goes around, back into space continuum. Yes, we did everything. Everything's all set, ready to go. We communicated with the galactic higher self. And basically, the planet system, but you see Star Wars where it has a magnesium magnetic force system. Well, the planet system has its own activation code. So basically, it takes both of them through its kinetic energy force and brings them in through magnetic force. Okay? So that kind of looks like this. Okay? Energy pod probing system through another energy probing system, and its planet system where it resonates from. And it's using magnetic force system to bring them in to the planet system where they reside on. Okay? And again, the next day, they come back out and do the same thing again. All over again through its communication lines of the galactic higher self. Comes back out the next day and does everything all over again. Okay? So it's amazing what you see through its illustrations and how powerful it is when you have the energy systems and the full wind cycles of everything through its anomalies. Because everything has its line defense, everything has its security defense, everything is electronic defense, electronic interference, electronic interfacing, interaction. So it's mastering everything through what's happening with your body and ecosystems of its energy systems. So Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. I try to be informative with the drawing and the illustration because it helps out a lot better for a lot of people, so they understand what's going on. Yeah, people always ask, how do I know? I always just say, I don't know. Just do. Now that I meditate, I understand where my thoughts come from. Well, you know exactly where your thoughts come from. You know where your energy fields come from. You know where your energy cycles come from. You know where the energy information comes from, right? So, uh, so, and to do my understanding meditation daily is essential. Mastering, yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Master every day, because that energy is going to keep going into you. And the more you ignore it, this is important, okay? If you ignore energy that goes into your system, it high rises all your divisional levels of its DNA structures and brings you back into the planet system of its past systems. Okay? So you go back into the 3D, and the 3D doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't exist anymore. I've changed the vibrational levels. We've gone through the fourth platitude of its river of lights and its activation through its streaming lights, and everything through its elixir, everything through the sacred flame, everything through the mastering lights, through the Gunalini of the golden lights. Okay? So, knowing all this should set yourself and your limits to know that you have to move forward. That's how important it is. Because if you go back into the planet systems of its past, then there's a huge problem. And you don't want to do that, because that's going to change everything through its negativity. And that negativity is going to high rise and create its own dark energy through its dark vibration. And that's why it's extremely hard sometimes to heal people, is because they don't know how to go forward. They go forward, but then they come back, and then they go back to the past. That's what I mean by balancing your ego system through the dichotomy of its separation. Because, like I said, it's extremely hard to do, to find that balance and to keep that balance and keep going forward. So hopefully that helps you out there, Trisha, how important it is to meditate and not to ignore energy information that's going into your body and ecosystem. So, like going to sleep and waking up. Yeah, when you're sleeping, you're going through a dream awakening, but protect your grids and your lights. It's very important. You wake up just like any other day. Okay. Now that energy of information through its data processing of its uplinks and its alienation of its plantation is going into you on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't go by time sequence. It just goes into you. And that's what I mean, how there's no time, no place, no age in the systems. Okay. You can't say, oh, it's 1 o'clock, my energy is going to go in. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Okay. It goes in when it goes in. And once it goes in, you'll understand its information and draw it out right away. So Trisha, try to do that. I think if you draw things out, Trisha, you're going to be more formulative and understand through your voicing grids of what's happening through your body and ego systems. And that energy information is going to make you more powerful every single day. That's what everybody forgets, is that when they meditate, okay, I meditated, I feel great, I feel amazing. But the next day you feel, oh, what happened? So that's what I mean by balancing out your stress levels extremely fast, just like that. I don't know if you noticed too, but if you watch my video back from yesterday, I snapped my fingers and I vortexed. Split second. So watch back my video. I vortex. And the reason what vortexing is, it's going from one dimension to another in a split second. So it's kind of like a time leap, time jump, quantum jump, time shift through quantum shift. So basically, the reason I went through a system is because I was in another galaxy system, and I was telling you about nebula. Well, that's what was happening. And I was going through an incredible force. In that split second, I did a quantum jump. So I snapped my fingers and I disappeared, but I came back very quick. That's what I mean by speed and acceleration. That's through the video transformation device. So please watch my video back from yesterday. I snap my fingers and you'll see me blip, just blip. And you know it's vortexing because I do this with my hand, or I do something like this. Okay? If it was a frozen recognition, you would see that it was frozen, right? But you can tell it's complete video. It didn't freeze or anything. You can just see how I went so fast through its vortexing. And that's what I mean by the power is getting more stronger through its connection of its galactic dimensional Earth now. And that's what I mean by dimensional, is because once you understand everything through its activation, you can pretty much do anything. Just wanted to share that with you because I just watched back my video and I noticed I went through vortexing, because sometimes I do that on my other videos too, like the blue interference. See, and it gets more blue. See, it changes. So, and that's electronic interference. Have to go back and watch videos. Yeah, hey Kitty Cat, how you doing? Welcome to my channel. You missed a lot. So Trisha has a question. Can I ask, what is the best morning routine? Example, what is the best to do before something else? Meditate, eat, exercise, etc. Should I do the same every time? You don't have to do the same routine if you don't feel like to go swim, or if you don't want to work out, that's fine. But try to get your meditations in. It doesn't have to be formal as far as like in time sequence. Just try to get your meditations in through your communication, because it's very important. Once you're understanding you're in the matrix systems, you can't ignore the systems. You can't. It's not allowed. And once you're in the system, they know you and they're putting information into you, and you have to know exactly the energy, because you're giving back information to them. Okay? So when you're going to work and somebody gives you something to do and you don't understand it, there's a problem. Then you have to go back to the manager or whoever you're working with and ask, excuse me, I don't understand what you're saying. Try to explain it in a way that I do understand. Okay? That can be helped too. But that's what I mean by mastering, is to know things, what's happening in that split second, so you can do these things, right? Because it's information that's given to you. And if you don't know what the energy is, and you don't know how to give back the information, there's a problem. Okay? Especially when you have energy that goes into you and you have to work. When I work in space continuum and I'm fixing alignments and planets and solar systems of vibrations of the harmonic systems, I'm changing everything through its allocations of locations, of dimensions, parallels, paradoxes, and everything through its paraphrasings of parallels. So everything through its line dividing and subdividing, you know, its shapes and everything through its DNA structures, like the virtual reality is coming forth. And that's what I mean by the fifth platitude, because the galactic dimensional Earth is the virtual reality. Okay? That's what it is. So everybody has to be on that vibrational level to platitude. So can we snap our finger? No. If you understand your energy and your vibration and your energy fields, Trisha, yeah. Do you have to do a grounding visualization before meditation in order to be effective? Everything is open frequency, so try to get your balance through its groundings. So when you meditate, you can meditate sitting. Don't cross your legs. Never do that. It's electronic interference. And what that does is it closes its mechanisms to its circuit G levels. So make sure that everything is opened. And you can use your prayers. And then you use your open communication. Now, when you meditate, know exactly what you're saying. And when you have your belief system, your visualization comes in through your realization. And that becomes active. And then it comes into movement. And then it comes into communication. Okay? So you're talking to higher intelligence of DNA structures of a higher force of their vibrational levels. So, but yes, grounding and visualization is very important. Kitty cat, what does it mean when my whole body at times feels like intense heat goes through the whole body? You're going through heat signatures through a planet system. So when you're connecting through space continuum and you're meditating, you have to know the energy cycles of its divisional levels. Now, what I mean by that is to understand your body system is communicating through that planet system of a heat signature of a planet system that's hot, okay? Because it has huge reactions to your body systems. What that means, Kitty, is that your higher self is flying in a system and it's getting too close to a planet system. So you have to understand how to use your flying mechanisms of the northern, western, southern, and eastern hemispheres. Okay? Because there's wind factors. There's vacuuming circles. Those vacuuming circles can suck you back into a dimension through a black hole. So that's what I mean by understanding how to fly into space, getting to know its element, getting to know its atmosphere, getting to scan planets. You have to scan a planet first before you communicate. Because if it's not on your vibrational level of a higher self and you're starting off as a higher self, there's a problem there. And that's what I mean by your body is getting all hot because it's reacting to its system of a communication at not your level. So that's what that is. So, Kitty, whatever you missed, you can watch back. I've done a lot of illustrations today of what's going on through the planet solar systems, how it changes its activation codes and everything through its vibrational signals. It's very important that this information is given back to everybody. So, you're extremely welcome. So I've been on an hour and a half, a couple more questions, and then I'm going to tap out. Everything must be clear before you meditate, Trisha. It's very important because you're going through silicone to antimantium. And once you get the antimantium through its DNA structure, then you can apply it to its vibration of its galactic dimensional Earth systems. So always cleanse, very important before meditation. Because you're high rising on so many dense energy of its levels, because everything through its divisions are security defense levels. So, hey, Light Being, I haven't seen you in a while. Is there a reason why my legs automatically cross whenever I am sitting or laying down? your body is reacting to a higher self. It's communication. So the higher self is probably doing something through space continuum. Because your body is reacting to everything, right? Or it's just your mind and your brain frequencies, or you're just tired. Sometimes they do that automatically across. Like right now, I'm crossing right here, but I'm sitting on a bed, right? So, but remember, never cross your legs, or always keep your open frequencies before you meditate. It's extremely important, because you have to have open communication for the chakra formations to illuminate. If you illuminate those chakra formations and you crossed your legs, it's closing communication. It's going to override your systems, and everything through its brain frequencies of space continuum is a solar magnetic system that high rises through the higher system of the higher self. So it would be distorted, and it would either fall flat or it would float into another dimension. So that's why it's extremely important. When you're spiritual and your third eye is open, everything through its frequencies is alive. Everything's connected through its radio signals. Okay, because the higher self connects through all radio signals of all activation of pyramids. Okay, so that's why it's very important never to cross your legs. You can lie down or you can sit up, but have your legs straight out. Don't cross over. Okay? So, but all these things are important, and you'll get that as you go through your breathing mechanisms. Try to get that in definitive breath, you know? Cleanse in all ways and forms through the body and ecosystems made of gold. Do some get into your breathing mechanisms. Try to formulate, that's what you want to do, right? Open up all your circuitry, all your levels, all your line defenses. Bring all your chakra formations, okay, into center. And that's what you want to do. Because whatever you're cleansing outside, you're cleansing inside through the chakra formations. And those chakra formations have to be cleansed because it's energy systematical systems of its energy cycles. It's a pocket cell. It's an energy cell going through its full rotation like this, but it has its activation of its shape that's inside. And those shapes are in a different dimension. So it's communication lines. If your frequencies are closed off, okay, and you communicate with that dimension of that shape, right, it's going to distort everything through its information and override its system. That's why it's very important to have open frequency through its radio signals. No line across. No line across. Nope, never. Never, never, never. I see people do that, but they don't get their full rotation. They don't get their full circulation, and they don't get their full meditation. Okay? Trust me when I say I know what I'm talking about. Okay? Open line communication is so important to space continuum. So it's very, very important. Man of Gold, your third eye is already open. You just have to know how to use your transformation lights. You have to believe in your systems. You have to master everything through its systems. Try to think as yourself as an inner outer child when you meditate. No, no, no lotus position. No. Ask Trisha. Trisha can help out May of Gold. She needs help, right? It's understanding and believing system. Everybody's activated, okay? I activated everybody. I activated the whole humanity of its world. But you have to understand how people are going through, okay, what is this going on? What's going on in my brain? It's changing. I don't know what's happening right now. Some people accept it, or some people go back into the past. So that's by ignoring. So you're not going to advance yourself because the energy that's going into you is going one way or another way. Okay? So, and with energy that's given to you, it's always going forward. Always going forward. It's information that's given to you through the activeness of space continuum and the galactic system and the matrix and its grid systems. So, see, Trisha, she invites her inner child to participate in daily meditations as well. That's what you have to do, May of Gold. Okay? Your third eye is open. Yeah, I'm sure you can help her out. So other than that, things are looking prosperous and pretty good in space continuum, the galactic system, the energy core. But I'm just showing you what happens when you go through visualization and how powerful it is to understand that when you're not just feeling something, you're seeing something. And when you understand the seeing, it's communication of interfacing. Okay. And when that energy goes into you, it goes back up into space continuum. So it's line formating. It's patterns every single day. That's what it's doing through all its signals. So, but I think that's good. I think we did well today. And like I said, whatever you miss, you can watch back. Questions or comments are great. Anything you'd like to be helped out with, let me know. I'll keep you informed of what's going on through the systems. And, keep subscribing and sharing and liking my channel. It's very important that everybody knows what's happening with their vibration of their body and ecosystems. Yeah, exactly, Trisha. Master each chakra first. We have to clear them. That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. It's understanding each chakra formation. It's like you go to school and you're studying. That's what it is. You're studying a page to page. Okay, and you get a test. And you do the test. Right? That's what it is. Well, you take your stats. So that's what it is. It's all about research. What is the ground formation, chakra formation? What is it? It's community. It's Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, nature's core, nature's creation, everything around its energy source, everything through its energy powers. That's what I mean by understanding everything through its mastering of its chakra formation. Okay? What is the root chakra? Well, root chakra balances and your security systems. Now I'm thinking through a dimensional galactic being, but it high rises through its 7 of its line division centers. Okay? That's what I mean by understanding each chakra formation. If you know the basic understanding of your chakra formations, you can go to a higher vibration of its frequencies through the harmonic systems. And that's why Trisha can do these things. It's because she's understanding through the information that I give her. So, diet is very important, extremely important. Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely important to have these things. So, But like I said, keep mastering, keep breathing, try to find your definitive breath, try to find different ways of breathing, because every chakra formation has a different breathing mechanism. So all these things are extremely important, and just keep yourself informative of what's happening through your systems, of its body systems. Okay? So this is Andrew Weston, resonating on all solar systems, planets, and types from the galactic system of the energy core, high rising on all dimensional realms of its matrix grids, changing all its shapes and its anomalies of its activation through its harmonic systems. Calling it. Adios, everybody.